Hi, I'm Karima Brown, and of course this is presidential candidate Lindiwe Sisulu putting up her hand for president of the African National Congress. Her campaign is fresh, it's being driven by new ideas, by young people, and it's literally dragging the African National Congress into the 21st century and becoming a modern political party.
I took some young people to create all the appendages that go with the campaign. They created the emblems, they created the t-shirts and everything. And the mast is an abbreviation of what they thought is a necessary plan forward. It represents Mandela. This is the legacy of Mandela. Mm-hmm. The U has a dot in it. The U has a dot in it, which means you. Everyone, it centers around people. You have a responsibility to carry through Mandela's legacy, the legacy that was started by Sisulu and Tambo, and we've got to carry it on because it is a must.
I am going to waste no more time. Minister, your opening statement.
I'm standing because I've come to a point where I've realized that we are at a crossroads. I've come to a point where I've realized that we are just about to repeat what we had in Polokwane. We are going through a very difficult time within the ANC. The factions within the ANC are almost identical in their palpability to those which we had in Polokwane. And it is not good for the ANC. It's not good for democracy. It is not good for the general public. After a long time of persuasion, I have agreed to be in this position and contest to the position of presidency.
What are the particular skills that you have had over this period of democracy, of serving both in the African National Congress and in the government, that you think equips you to become the president of the African National Congress?
One, I bring along a wealth of experience from working in government and in the ANC. Secondly, I bring that experience with me from government. I've been in government since 1996. Before that, I served in the interim government in the Transitional Executive Council, and my particular responsibility was the Sub-Council on Intelligence to make sure that that election, which was very tenuous, does run. I bring my utter commitment to the ANC. I believe that I have a plan to return the ANC and the country back to its glory, which is what we had in 1994 and going onwards. I bring my determination to live up to what it is that we've been fighting for. I have given all my life to the ANC. I want to make sure that the rest of my life I can give in making sure that that project is completed.
My question is, Mamkana, how do you reconcile renewal, which is a must, and unity? Because there's a deep sense of mistrust and inability to modernize within the ANC. I don't know where it stems from.
I indicated to you right from the outset that one of the reasons that actually was a determining factor was to see us going down the path we traveled in Polokwane. And I realized that it won't work. And I agreed to stand if only those who did not want a divisive or divided ANC would align themselves with myself. So I am all for unity. The Must campaign is one that actually includes unity.
Let me quickly go to the lines. I've got Michelle, whom I think is coming from Attridgeville, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, Michelle, what's your question to the Minister? Welcome to the program.
Good evening, Minister Sisulu. I'm speaking to Michelle here from Attridgeville, and I have a question for you. I can see that there are current corruption cases within the government, right? So can you please tell me on how you going to deal with this as a president?
Michelle, corruption in government, yes, there is a great deal of corruption in government, and we have institutions in government where it is possible for us to report to this matter. I have been on this anti-corruption campaign since 2012 when I was Minister of Public Administration. It was not fashionable then. I don't remember anybody. I don't remember a journalist writing about it. I don't remember anybody even caring, because it was at that point that we needed to take necessary steps to curtail the level of corruption in government. But finally, we did manage to get the PEM bill put across, and in the PEM bill, no one who's employed in the public service may get work from government. And that was one step that I was able to get into to make sure that we can curb corruption. But corruption outside of the ANC, that's for the courts. And we would urge the courts, we would urge anybody who's got any evidence to make sure that it is made available. We don't want any kind of assertion of corruption attached to the ANC. It's going to take a long time for us to get beyond that. We are very mindful of the fact that we've got an election to fight in 2019, and therefore we want to make sure that the ANC is seen to be what it is: honest people, no corruption attached to it. Anybody who is corrupt, we will send to the courts, and the courts will deal with that.
Good evening to the hall at large. I am Alwani Chogwe, a UJ student and a member of civil society. Ma'am Sisulu, you spoke about changing the political socio-economic agenda, which is obviously inclusive of radical economic transformation. Don't you think it should be pioneered by young people as drivers of the economy and concurrently be contesting presidency as we want to advocate for the NDR as well? Thank you.
Okay. Our country boasts a younger population than the older population. So one of the things that I would want to concentrate on is attracting the younger generation, because we would hold that position in trust for them. So I would want them to come on board, and just their energy would be sufficient. But of course, they would be leading innovation. They are what I am building the future for. I would want to co-govern with them. I'd like them on board. I'd like them to know that we need them. I'd like them to know that they're important. I'd like them to know that it is their future that we're preparing for. And I'd like them very much involved in what we're doing. And I believe if we get that right balance, we will get the younger generation and we will have the necessary push.
If you are the president of the African National Congress, are you going to be introducing any different policies to the ones that have already been put out there and hasn't quite yielded what ought to have been an economy that grows, that creates jobs? What are you going to do differently?
Okay.
What is going to distinguish you as president of the ANC on an economic level?
We have tried various options of how we can regenerate the economy. One of the first things that we're going to do is actually ensure that we create an environment that will give confidence to investors. We need to create policy certainty. We need to create policy certainty amongst investors, amongst ourselves. People shouldn't wake up and wonder, what now, what next? Once we've created that policy certainty, give the necessary assurance that you can do business with us, and make sure that we can crowd in investors, make sure that we can crowd into the work that the government is providing the private sector, and have a collaborative effort to make sure that we are all in this together. But more importantly, the thing that most of us seem to miss is that the economy is not just some cloud sitting out there. It is about ourselves, the people. The people will do this, the people will do this. And we must empower people to actually take advantage of what it is and get themselves out of poverty. So what I would be doing is making sure, finding out from people, how can I help you help yourself? And this is where especially the youth come in, because these are able-bodied people, very eager, very much wanting to get out there and do something. And we can get from them what it is that they would need to do, and our job as government is to make sure that we create an enabling environment and give them the necessary resources that will make it possible for them to get themselves out of poverty, create wealth, create jobs for other people as well.
We know as young people, we want land. We are very clear about the issue of land, right? And we don't want land and say that, okay, the ANC will give us land, but we'll just become cattle in that land. As you are today, you make me proud because you were able to define yourself outside of your father. because people were going to say, no, she's just a Sisulu, but you're able to be Lindiwe Sisulu, right? So it makes us proud as young women, but we want to know, what are you going to do for us as women, because we're being attacked in this patriarchal society?
You know, as we give a house in the urban areas, we also give the land. This is part of our redistribution of land in the urban areas, and it goes completely unnoticed. But the amount of land that we've given to our people as part of giving the house is phenomenal. And we omit that statistic at our own peril. But I want to emphasize here, we are expropriating land to make sure that we can give it to those people who are more deserving. We have taken a decision as the ANC that land within the urban area, within a particular radius of the urban area, will be used for public good, which is human settlements, which is why I decided to take on the case against Helen Zille when she sold Tafelberg to a private company to create something else other than social housing. So we are on that matter. We're not as public about it as perhaps you would like, but we are continuously making sure that we can take land to ensure that people have housing within the urban areas.
Mine is to say to you, Mama, we are here, we are available, we are excited, we are energized, we are so happy that you are the candidate. I'd also like to say that, Mama, we are so proud. You are a must for the ANC.
I want to thank you for this. I want to thank you for coming, and I want to thank you for the support that you've given me, and the campaign can only go from strength to strength.
We'd like to thank you because if you look at just Africa in general, black women are the face of poverty.
Yes.
And it says everything when a woman in Africa stands to be the president of the entire South Africa, which is, you know, globally looked up to even in Africa. So for us, it means a lot. Being in the political space, it means a lot. It means that we can actually fight for ourselves within the space.
I'm very proud of her being able to stand up and be bold enough to become part of the running for the presidential elections, because we need to change the landscape of this country, not only from the periphery, but also from the leadership of the organization, from the leadership of government.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, Ma.